fighting, he says the hardest thing basically about fighting is that to get better, you always have to be failing in practice. And I think I heard Serena Williams say that too, that practice is just all about losing so that you can win on game day.
Mm-hmm.
And Alexis Poppies says similar things.
Who's Alexis Poppies?
She was an Olympic runner. I cannot tell you specifically what event. I know it's distance, I think.
Danielle, be honest with me. Was it like 10 minutes ago you were like, oh, shit, I got a podcast to do? Or it was like 30 seconds ago you're like, oh, shit, I'm on a podcast that started already?
Honestly, I was texting. Or sorry, on FaceTime. Not texting. I was on a FaceTime. And I got caught up in a good conversation. So I am sorry about that.
No, I am actually concerned that you're here because it kind of breaks the continuity of...
I thought about it.
Good. Hey, did someone twist your arm? Was a friend of yours like, hey, just do it. Come on, be cool.
No.
Okay. No one twist Danielle Brandon's arm. Hey, dude, congratulations. Another one down.
Another one down is right.
You pumped?
Huh?
You pumped? You invigorated? You charged? Like, people are always like, oh, are you recovering? I'm like, recovering? I got shot out of there like a cannon. I'm more excited than ever. But I didn't work out.
Yeah, like, I'm not necessarily pumped. I'm excited to make sure a lot of the things that happen don't happen again. But, I feel like that happens every year. But this year, I think more so than ever, like, there's some changes that need to be made that, like, I think I'm like ready to make.
You're going to HWPO?
No. No.
Not that big.
No.
Okay. What about that documentary crew that was following you? Can you tell me about that? Like, how that worked out? Did someone come up to you like at some point during the week or right before the game started and was like, hey, Danielle, there's a documentary crew here. Do you want to be part of it?
Yeah. Right before, I want to say check-in, actually, Dave introduced me to two women. I wish I could tell you their names, but, he was like, essentially, do you want to be a part of this documentary that we're doing? It's completely separate from CrossFit. Gave me a little bit of background on him, and he's like, they want to follow you throughout the weekend. And I was like, I would love to be a part of that. And so, they followed me around. He mentioned like they do know nothing about CrossFit, which was cool because you really got like a fresh perspective. What I hope they're going to portray is like have you watched any of the documentaries on Netflix about like, the tennis one, the golf, like how they do such a great job at explaining this sport that like you think a lot of people know about, but like I'm learning things about these sports that I had no clue about.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
I believe that like they'll do something very similar. It's cool that they'll explain CrossFit as if they're telling somebody who knows nothing about it at all. Like, which they really did. They asked so many questions, which they felt were really dumb, which like were kind of basic to me, but it'll help get the point across.
It wasn't a distraction in any way. You were happy to be a part of it.
No, they were so nice about it too. They're also people who I think could just like read my emotions. And if I was upset, like they weren't going to like immediately blast me. They were like, let me give her some time. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Listen.
They know.
He's got to be told by Matt to back off.
Listen.
Like, I think there's a time and place, right? Like I understand they're trying to tell this story. They want to get like that emotion. They were good at balancing it though.
By the way, do you know Chase? He's got the Dave Castro logo on.
I do know Chase.
And do you know John Young?
Yes.
Oh, okay. How the fuck does my finger work?
Hi, guys.
There. Hi.
And you guys know Danielle. I told you Danielle was coming on.
Yeah, I've seen Danielle before.
I don't think we've ever been on a podcast together though.
I don't think so.
I've watched plenty with you in them though.
Okay. That's good to hear.
Oh, you
not because it was only you.
You made him turn red.
Well, Spin said she was going to win the games, and I was pretty down on that call. So that's why I turned red. But
Is that your favorite podcast? The one Brian Spin does, the one that chooses you to win the games?
Me?
Yeah,
Brian didn't choose me to win the games.
Brian Spin. Who's that?
Oh, poor Spin. Oh, he loves
he in
you,
the-
Danielle. It's gonna
he-
hurt his feelings so
Oh my
bad.
God, he's down and out. Let me see.
Oh, I feel bad, kind of.
Hey, you know what's crazy too is he's not like an emotional picker. He's like he's like a little
he's
bit.
Hey,
Like
emotional when
I
it comes to
fully-
Danielle.
Walked, asked me a month before the games, if I was going to win the games, and I would have told you yes. But asked me the days leading up, no.
oh yeah, look at that. So that's
Oh, okay. I've seen this page.
so that's the old one. That's just prior to the games. 2 people in the poll
Yeah.
picked you to win the games.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's cool.
Yeah, that's crazy
That's
cool. Gray Ghost, $5. Fuck yeah, Danielle Brandon Energy. DBE. Danielle, what changed? I got to go back to the documentary thing. Don't forget Sevi, but what changed? What changed that you went from, dude, I'm gonna put the hammer down out there to
Yeah.
where's my hammer?
As like every athlete goes through the weekend, there's a lot of different circumstances that kind of you have to come together as an athlete on this one weekend. Essentially everything has to be just right, physically, mentally. And unfortunately I just like wasn't in a place where I think physically I was necessarily as capable as I was, 3 weeks before the games. It just
Is there
like
something specific that you're not like, is it like, hey, I hurt my big toe or my back hurt or I'm pregnant?
It's
or...
so silly. I think I almost hate saying it out loud because sometimes it can feel as like an excuse, but I think it's more just like unfortunate timing and circumstances. I had like a messed up tooth and then like infection in my mouth, and I had to take like a week off. And
Were you on antibiotics?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was like
Oh.
it's just like I hate thinking about it because it's so stupid. And
Well,
yeah, I don't know. And
I
like,
don't hear it as an excuse. I'm asking, and you're
Yeah.
painting the picture for us, and I appreciate you sharing it. Antibiotics suck when you're competing at that high level, especially if they're.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
guessing
just
you took a
like
lot.
Yeah, it was I think it's just because I don't really know exactly what it was, so it's hard to like pinpoint it on that. But like you ask like Matt or anybody who was near me in training, like 3 weeks before the games, like I was on like this amazing trajectory, like the things I was doing in training were amazing, and and then I kind of got to the games, and I was on antibiotics for like over a week and had to take that week off, and just kind of got to the games and felt like the first couple of days, kind of how you feel when you take like 2 weeks off. Just like unfortunate timing. But like I don't walk away from the weekend with any less confidence that I can win the game. So
Does any of the pressure get to you? The notoriety and the eyeballs and the like, do you ever get anxiety? Like you pull up to the venue and you have to get out of the car and you, does any of that get to you?
Not that, but I think it only maybe it seems like it gets to me or whatever because I put that pressure on myself. Now, if I wasn't putting that pressure on myself and other people were, sure, it'd be like these people getting to me. But because I put that pressure on myself of having the same expectations that other people do, I take responsibility for feeling any of that pressure. Because
I don't mean that pressure to win. I mean just the straight fame pressure. Like you pull up, you get out of the car, and it's like, you have 60 feet to go from getting out of the car, cross that cement, then another 30 feet to get into the athlete area before, and you're going to interact with a shitload of people. And I saw you be gracious with everyone. You don't walk with your head down, you make eye contact, but I see you the whole way. It's 2 steps picture, 2 steps picture, 2 steps picture. And I'm thinking to myself, God, I wonder like if she starts getting like anxious.
It's a choice that I'm willing to make to do those things. And I wouldn't say anxious is the right word.
Okay. You're not tripping. You're not like embarrassed or high strung by it or feel energy getting taken from you. It's not like that.
No, I mean, if I do feel energy taken from me, it's like that's on me. And like, that's my fault because
damn, you're good.
I will only allow so much of that. You know, and like, I'll know it. I'll be like, okay, like, but I thrive on people's energy. Like that's how I get my energy is because of people around me. Like I've always been like that.
I could see that because you were great with it. I never saw, and I mean, you're exceedingly cool to everyone.
Wow, thank you. But yeah, I mean, the only time that it does really take away from me is like if I allow it, or you know, I mean, like people are gonna be people and they're gonna take it too far sometimes, and I'm like, but I'm just like, damn, like that person could chill a little bit.
Like, Torres, get him.
I don't know.
When you were doing when I didn't see the weightlifting event because I was inside waiting for people to come in and I was interviewing people, and I started hearing rumblings of people. Oh shit, Danielle Brandon's on the floor crying. Were tears coming out of your face on the floor?
I was struggling on the floor. Yeah.
Like water was coming out of your face.
Probably a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you do that, is it so let me go a little further. So then you come off the floor, and all the other times that you've come off the floor, you're surrounded by cameras.
Yeah.
And you come out and no one is fucking getting close to you.
Yeah.
Except little old me. I ran you walked over to the stairs. I'm like, okay, Sevy. And I run over there. And you're by yourself, and I see the documentary crew, and everyone's like, "Oh fuck!" Like no one wants a piece of that.
Yeah.
And you bent over, and I think you were fiddling with your shoes. I think you were loosening your shoes. I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably my lifters.
And I hadn't seen your face yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Sevy, you got to fucking break the ice. And I think I said to you, "How the fuck was that?" And you froze for like just a half a second. And you looked over, and there's this smile in your eyes. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say you were mad at me, but it was a little bit of a forced smile.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, I'm justifying it. Like, okay, she might be pissed at me now, but she's not going to be pissed at me afterwards in the behind the scenes when she sees this. And then I start walking with you, and as I'm walking with you, you're walking towards Matt Torres, and I see him going.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that.
Like, dude waving me off. Oh, you'll see the footage of it. And I was just like,
oh, that's funny. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Can you share with me the and just in Matt's defense too, Matt looked terrified too. Like, oh shit, like he's about to have to fight one-on-one with the cheetah. Like like a wild cat. But he stepped into it, and then you guys walked off down the hallway. What's that conversation like? What do you guys
you know, I guess I'll just walk you through the events. Maybe you have some more understanding. Typically on like weightlifting events, we've learned I work really well with Dom. So Dom took me through warm up. We went through kind of a similar warm up and you know, that we went through at semis because Dom kind of coached me through the snatch at semis, and it went really well. And we did the same thing at the games. You know, this time we're having to warm up for snatch and clean and jerk. Everything's like, you know, feeling as good as it can at that point. I think that was the first time like I kind of like felt a little more normal. And I was like, dang, like I do kind of have like a little more energy than I've been having. And, you know, I was like really confident in my weightlifting because that's something we've worked on a lot this year. Typically, I'm a really consistent snatcher. Clean and jerks, we've been doing a ton. Like before, you know, I'd hit like a 220, I hit like a 230. Like it wasn't anything of like you kind of on a weightlifting event, you know what you're going to do, like typically. And so we're warming up for snatches. It's going great. And then we kind of switch to clean and jerks. And I'm like warming up and I'm like, dang, like my pull is like really great. But then we kind of get to like 175 and I kind of just like fall back. And I'm like, oh, like I just caught it kind of like weird, you know? And then I do another one and like my legs just like didn't work. I kind of just like dumped it forward and I'm like, I was just like, whoa, like that was weird. Like, I don't know. My legs just feel off. And I like tried again and I like literally just like couldn't, I don't know, like my legs didn't hurt. They just like weren't working. And so then I started freaking out. Like, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Dom didn't know what was going on. So we're kind of like, what do we do? And then, you know, they're calling us out and we're like, okay, well, we're like, we have to get something on the board. Like we have to do something. So I was like, okay, like power, like we just have to. So I powered like 185 in the back or 185, 195. And I'm like, well, whatever. And then they're calling us out and I'm like, all right, get through the snatch and then get to the clean, open up with 195. And then for some reason I have Cooper yelling at me to go to like 215. And I was like, I was like, at this point, I'm like, whatever. Like, that's an aggressive jump. But if someone's telling me to do that, I'll do it. Failed, kind of knowingly. Like, that was just wasn't going to happen that day. And then, it was really tough to be on the floor when I didn't know what was going on. And I don't want to, that's like such a fun event where you're literally watching all of your competitors go through and everybody's cheering for them. And it's like the super happy, like everybody's hitting PRs, like, and I'm just like, damn, I'm not having fun out here. Like, I don't care that my competitors are doing well right now. Like, I don't care. I think a lot of people look at it as like, oh, what a poor sport. You're like, she's not watching. And I'm like, you think like any competitor wants to watch their competitor do good? Like, no. So I was just like, honestly like just struggling, and I was laying out there and I'm like, damn, like what is going on? This is really hard. Walked off. Just like there was just nothing more to it. Like I just didn't do what I thought I was supposed to do. And
how long does it take for that to get behind you?
Honestly, like in a situation like that where like mentally I was showing up, like, even with 215, like when I walked up to the bar, like I was like, there's potential I could just randomly, like, I'm like, I've hit this before, I've hit this in training. Like I hit this all the time. Like I could do it. And then it just didn't happen. Like it's tough when I mentally showed up and just like physically was not there. So it was like very easy to kind of walk away and be like, well, we just don't know what happened. Like,
and it was the worst finish of the day for you, 26th.
Yeah.
Do you think that fueled your Sunday? Because your Sunday, you had like your best day of the games.
Yeah.
Was you just like pissed off attitude or nothing to lose?
I think it was like a nothing to lose. I think the first event on Sunday was the log one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was tough because Sunday also, if you look at those events, like the muscle up one, the traverse one, and I mean, maybe not necessarily the final, but you would look at those events and you're like, oh, like these aren't terrible events on paper for Danielle Brandon. Like, but yeah, like, I mean, Sunday, like I definitely physically finally like felt better. Like, I don't know what was going on with my body, but I finally like, had a little more in me and like wasn't just like suffering right away. And then, like I literally had that like a nothing to lose. Like I remember doing the muscle ups and I was like, I'm just going to go out here and like just do CrossFit, like the way I know how to do CrossFit. And I think even that was the one event where we didn't hammer down like strategy as much because of the position I was in, that it was like, let's just get you to like somehow do a workout and like just like survive. And that was the one workout I walk away where I'm like, dang, like I definitely like had a little more if I had been in this position of like fighting, like, I don't know, like fighting for every little thing in that workout. Like, not to say I didn't, but I think I left like a little bit out there as far as like my best strategy.
And you took, in that one you took, what would you take, 7th?
I think 7th. Yeah. Like there was a little bit where after I finished, I was like, oh, like if we had maybe, been in a headspace or a little bit different approach with this workout, like, I think I could have done like a little bit better. Like the way I approached the muscle ups, I kind of like figured it out mid workout. But I was still like really, like I was like essentially happy with that one. And then, the traverse one, I was like, honestly, like, I'm just going to try to do what I know how to do. And
from heat 1.
Yeah. And like went for it. Even in that workout, I finally felt that fire of like, fuck it, like just go for it. Like you're feeling good. Let's do it. I think I got so caught up in the workout that I forgot that I had to like change the rope. And I was like, what am I doing? Kind of got lost in it. And then, the final, I think that's probably one I'm most proud of because of how I was feeling physically. You know, everybody's feeling some way, but I just didn't feel like myself. And that's one you would look at and probably not think I would maybe get a top 10 on. And I like really fought for that one. So,
Hey, were you glad when it was over? Was there a
I
sense of
wasn't, like,
relief? No.
no, honestly, I like wasn't super glad it was over because I did end on a great day. And I was like, dang, like I finally feel like I'm doing what I'm capable of. Not that I was like physically ready for more, but like I was just like mentally like, dang, like that didn't go nearly how I planned it.
In that rad video that came out a few days ago, they do say in that scene, and you reiterated it here, that you were with Dom and Torres went with Emma during the lift. What happens if you would have wanted Torres and she would have wanted Dom? Or what if both of you want the same guy? Does that ever happen where it's like you guys are both in the same heat and you guys both want the same coach?
Yes and no. I think we kind of came up with a strategy after semis of what would work best because there was a little bit of that where, you know, you have 5 athletes trying to qualify for the games, and, you know, you have some really like, you know, podium potential and like top 10 potential athletes within that group. So it can be, you know, really hard to balance that when, you know, I want to be as selfish as possible, but I'm also kind of just as a person trying to be aware of the other people around me who also have the same coach. So it can be definitely hard as an athlete to be selfish in that way. So we realized like we needed a plan after semis to be like, okay, like this will always get, like this athlete will always have this coach's priority. This athlete will have this person. So we kind of
there is a plan for that.
Yeah, we like solidified that before the games.
So that there's no waste of energy or tension around it at game day.
Because we did waste a little bit of that at semis. But we figured it out.
And good to hear. Andy Schneider, if training at altitude will increase your stamina by 10%, let's just say any percent, for 3 days, why wouldn't everyone train at altitude for 2 or 3 months before the games?
That's a good point. You know, I was talking to somebody today about how I think Chandler and somebody else trains at altitude. No.
Chase, John?
It's a lot of resources. Cyclists do that. But I don't.
Is the Brute Camp moving to 10,000 feet? Boulder, the mountains?
No.
Who has won the CrossFit Games from Utah?
Yeah. Those teams did pretty good.
Well, yeah, but you know, I'm talking. If we look at the individuals, none of them are.
Why is Salt Lake City at a mile high?
Australia. She's below sea level. Okay, like I don't think it's doing that much.
Yes, I don't know. Chandler had like such a good year.
Yeah, he did have a good year.
He did.
Really good, right?
Jeff Gassick, Danielle Brandon. You, Brute, and the Rad Crew is awesome. I love your fucking fight. Tell us more of what you were told after that quote. Have big lit, give us a hello. Good job, Sevi and team. What's this? Tell us more what you were told after that quote.
Oh.
What quote?
The ESPN thing?
Yeah. The ESPN, how I swore on ESPN.
Oh. What did you say even? You're like...
Did they get onto you?
I saw Dave come and yell at the I saw Dave talk to you. I think I got a little bit of that on film, but then I saw him talk to the next heats.
Yeah.
He just what did you say? You're just like, fuck yeah, or I'm glad I fucking won that, or
no, I was just like, I'm ready to fucking fight.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Yeah, and like I mean, I didn't know. Maybe this is just like really stupid of me and naive. I just didn't realize you couldn't swear on like ESPN.
Maybe this is stupid or naive of me, but I didn't know Dave was such a pussy.
Yeah, no. Yeah, like it's just funny to me. You know, a lot of my like friends after were like, if they should have told anyone not to swear on TV, it should have been you. And they knew an event was coming. Like they knew it was a handstand one. But it was, yeah, it was, I mean, if I had known, like, I totally would have respected that and not sworn.
I put money on it.
Oh, you did?
That event or me swearing?
Money on an event win and you to say fuck on national television.
Oh, wow. That's good, Chase. You're good.
Oh, that is so...
And you did. I'm like, there it is.
Oh, you knew it. See, like, if you know it, you know, I feel like they should have a little bit. That is too good.
Hey, how could they not know it when you have Instagram posts like this? This is Danielle Brandon montage with the great Conor McGregor really speaking in the background.
I've lost my mind on this game, yeah. Like Vincent Van Gogh. Dedicated his life to his art and lost his mind in the process. That's happened to me. But fuck it. That gold belt is around my waist. And my mother has a big mansion. My girlfriend has a different car for every day of the week. And my kids have everything they ever want. Then it will pay. Then I'm happy I lost my mind.
Did you make this?
No, Jermaine did.
Oh, but you make a lot of your stuff.
Some of it, but
sounded like Conor had like cotton balls in his mouth.
Oh, he's Irish.
No, it's different. I know one of those.
Hey,
Pedro doesn't sound like that, Sevan. That's all I'm saying.
No matter how much we try to make him.
How was that with Dave? Was it tense, or is he cool, or is he a dick, or how is that when he?
I thought it was totally, you know, he was frustrated, so maybe he came at me with a little bit of frustration, but it was like, I wasn't concerned. I wasn't butthurt by it. It was more just like, oh man, like, you know, I just wish I would have known a little bit and like wouldn't have done it. Yeah, now I know you can't swear on ESPN. You know?
Unless you're a fighter or a rapper, you can.
I think it's gonna be funny next year.
I think like ESPN gets fined, right? I think someone said that like they get fined.
They send the bill to Torres.
No. Or to Dave, apparently.
Hey, you didn't color your hair this year for the games?
I didn't, no.
Any thought in that? Any reason?
I just thought, you know, I could be blonde for a season.
Yeah, cool. All right. We accept you, Bond. Hey, in that rad video, why is Marconi around so much? He's a HWPO guy, but you're Brute and it's a rad event. Why is he around so much in those videos?
In the last video you showed me?
Yeah, like he's in the kitchen cooking and stuff.
Yeah, he's really great friends. You know, we're great friends, and he's good friends with Cooper as well. So
you guys just commingle, the camps commingle.
Oh yeah, like that. I think one of the nights, like Jason came over, Jason O'Keefe, and everyone came over to the house.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
Wow, I didn't think that should happen. Hey, what was it like filming with? Yeah, there he is. There he is. Yeah. Good job, Caleb. Wow, that is the exact clip that I saw. That I'm like, what the fuck is that guy doing there?
Yeah.
Okay, so friend
and
of the family.
You know, the body work. At a time like this, like our body worker is also working on Amanda. You know, Bethany, a couple other athletes.
Barnhart.
Yeah.
That rad shoot, is that the first time when you guys went to the Speedway? Is that the first time you've hung out with Laura Horvat?
No. I think I did a shoot with her another time as well.
What's she like? She seems really fun and lighthearted.
Yeah, I mean she's serious. She's a big business gal. She's there for business.
So she was very serious. She wasn't. I was being sarcastic. She wasn't lighthearted and fun.
No, she wasn't not those things, but I mean, we were also there. Like it was very hot. You know, she showed up. I think she got a little lost on the way. We're like in these jumpsuits, like it's really hot, and so we're just trying to, you know, get pictures, get stuff done.
Did you bond? Did you get her phone number?
I didn't. We didn't get to bond.
Okay.
Sometimes I comment on her stuff on Instagram though, and get sometimes like a heart or just a scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever get a caddy on there with her?
No.
No. Okay. All love.
Oh yeah. I mean, like if you have respect for any competitor, it's Laura.
And tell me, why is that?
She's just like a savage. Like she's literally just that, a savage.
Yeah, you like to kill
It's
her.
like,
She
you
is a
respect it.
savage. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I do know.
Really?
Oh
You get what I'm saying?
You have
Hey.
no idea.
I really do know. You know, I called her the other day.
I saw a little bit of that clip, but I didn't see it entirely.
And she basically said, "Hey, who is this?" I said, "Sevan." She said, "Oh, if I would have known it was you, I wouldn't have picked up." I was like,
Love
damn.
Exactly.
When do you get back to the drawing board? You said you've been you guys have already, it sounds like you guys have already talked about tinkering with your training. When do you guys get back to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think next week we'll definitely start a little bit of something. So, yeah.
Mr. Young, do you see anything? What did you think of Danielle's performance at the games this year?
I mean, it's very consistent, which she's known to be pretty consistent. I would say that she's probably used to her 20ths being more like 15ths.
Yeah.
And that would be the difference. And if you take the weightlifting event and what she can put up, you can give her 50 more points on that. And that'd be around a 5th or 4th place. And I think that's where she's accustomed to finishing. So taking all those, like what she said, she was on antibiotics before. She wasn't feeling good. Sunday was her best day. She had nothing to lose. I think you take all those into consideration, and her 9th place is like with her best potential is really a 4th place with perfect execution.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's what I think.
A lot of people have said, "Hey, Danielle Brandon's she's got to get her emotions under control. She's too emotional. She's out there just leaking energy all over the place. She's
leaking energy.
It's fucking her shit up." Is that true, Chase? Did we just see? You think that there's a Danielle Brandon emotion issue that she better get that shit under control?
I mean,
or is it all good?
I think the double-edged sword of feeding off the energy of others is that when it's positive, it's great. And when it's negative, it can be bad. We've seen the same thing with Noah. We've seen the same thing with Sarah. That being said, they also used to tell, Rich to stop playing sports during the CrossFit game season because, you could injure yourself. But like, he's just a competitive dude, and that's what made him him. And I think this emotion that Danielle feeds off of is part of that realm of it's her superpower.
Mm-hmm.
Yet can still be her own supervillain at the same time. So I would say maybe curb 20% of the negative feeling. And that's kind of that percentage that John is talking about. And that comes with experience, and that comes with competition, tenure. And I think, we're 3 or 4 years into that now on the big stage, and you do get better. This is an off year, and you could see that in the first day of competition. And then the next 2 days, it was probably 2 days of frustration because of day one. Yeah. And then on the 4th day, we were just kind of like, all right, fuck it, we're going for it. And then you were back to your old self again. So yeah, I chalk it up to one of those.
Bernie Gannon, Danielle Brandon energy needs to lean into her energy, not repress it. It's called DBE. Danielle, what do you think? Do you think you're pretty emotional out there, that you have more highs and lows than you need to throughout the week, and that it hurts you? Or do you think that it's good and it helps you? Or is it just a mischaracterization? I'm open to it being a mischaracterization of you in totality.
I mean, always, like, I think people see a lot more on the outside than what's really going on. So it's easy to be like, oh, like, she's just frustrated at this and now it's affecting this. But also what people don't see is that, like, as I am, like, sometimes like frustrated on the field, like, I'm still working and I'm not like letting that take away from my work. But also, like, I will say this year, as many things that were really out of my control, probably the most of any year, physically, like, old me, like, mentally would not have kept showing up. And like, I can most confidently say that, like, every workout I mentally showed up for myself, and just unfortunately, like, physically could not be there. Like, it was just like a, kind of a shitty situation. In the past, like, say like the COVID year, where like there was a ton of things that were out of my control. But mentally, I did not show up for every workout. Like, I absolutely did not. And I did not do everything in my control. I skipped warm-ups. Like I stopped wanting to eat. Like, I stopped a lot of those things that I could still control. While this year, like, of course I was going to be more emotional, as I'm already a much more emotional person and ride those waves a little bit too much, but I still controlled everything I did. Like I was still getting body work. I still warmed up every workout. Like, people don't see a lot of those things. So I think this year, if you saw anything on the floor, it was more just like frustration, but it wasn't like in the past, like just like totally throwing everything out the window, giving up. It was just like, clearly I was just like, there's not much I can do. And it's just like shitty, but I mentally like still showed up with what I had. Like, and those are tough things to just see from the outside.
And had you not, I mean, you probably would have been at risk with not even making the last cut. Because I know it was like 18th or 17th or something like that going into Sunday. And then you ended up top 10. So,
yeah. Whereas like in the past, like I know myself, I would have been like, what is, and I did have those moments. I'm like, what the fuck am I even fighting for? Like I came into this weekend wanting to fight for a podium spot. And right now I'm fighting for 10th. Like that's shitty. Like I was like, this fucking sucks. Like that's lame. Like, I'm like, this is not it. Like, this is not what I want to be doing. But like, damn, am I really going to walk away with this feeling better about a 9th place or like an 18th place? Like, no matter what, like, what am I going to feel better about? And knowing I can walk away, knowing I wasn't a little bitch and gave up, like, that sucks more. Like,
you like that, Caleb? I saw Caleb's eyes lit up when you said that. He loved that.
Yeah. I mean, like, seriously, like, easily. And, like, I will say, like, COVID year, there was fucking moments where I was like, I don't want to warm up. And I didn't warm up. And you can see that. I think I got almost dead last on that Echo bike snatch workout where I straight up was like, I'm not warming up for this event. I don't care.
So you used to be kind of a little bratty and you kind of got that brat under control. You got that brat under control a little bit.
Absolutely. And like,
lot.
Like it just came back to like, okay, Danielle, like stop letting the emotion talk. Like, what do you really want?
Yeah.
Like, and I would let the emotion talk and do everything and make all my choices for me. And not to say I'm perfect now, but like,
how did that happen?
Really good people telling
How did that happen? Do you have a coach? Do you have a coach for that, or a mental coach for that, or it's just you're getting more mature and more self-reflective? Or
I think it's both. I mean, both. It's like realizing like what my goals are and what I actually want. I think in the years past, like I've never wanted to win. Like I truly never have. Like I think you see a lot of people out there saying, I come to the games with the one goal and winning. And like, I never showed up to the games with the one goal of winning. Like I truly showed up with the goal of doing the best I can. And if that puts me at the top, great. But now I'm in a position where I'm like, dang, like I do have all the capabilities to do this. Like I do want to, like, I'm like, I do want to win. Like, this year, maybe I showed up like 90% of wanting to do that. And then like, unfortunately, this weekend, like, what seems like a major setback, like I still walk away with like, no, I still can't do this. Like this weekend was just fucking shitty, like terrible circumstances and timing, but like, it just, I don't know. It's just like,
do you think that could help you? Like coming into this weekend or that weekend in the headspace you were in the physical space and seeing how you countered towards the end of the weekend, you think going through that could help you, even if you say you came into the same situation next year?
Yeah.
You think you'd actually be better than you would because you went through this?
Absolutely. Like, no doubt. Like, I didn't know that I could fight. I've always had like the physical capabilities to like fight through workouts, to like really suffer. Like everybody can suffer. But like, I did not know I could fight like that and like keep mentally showing up for myself. Like that is what I've realized can be really hard, is to keep mentally showing up for yourself when like it's still not working. Like it's still not enough. Like it's hard. Like, I was like, damn, like I really showed up for myself. And all these people are telling me that if I'm just there mentally, like it'll be there. And I'm like, no, actually I was there mentally, like physically, it was not there this weekend. Like it just wasn't like,
right.
But I'm not letting that take away from like, I easily could be like, I just physically don't have it. And like, that would be so stupid of me to like, look at like what I have been doing and like my training throughout the year and like, it would be stupid of me to like be like, oh, I just physically don't have it. Like I mentally showed up. I just don't have it. I think anybody would tell me that's just stupid. So it is like so good that I went through this weekend, because I think there's like, one, I know there's so many things that can change. And it just made me so much better. And the fact that I can walk away with it, not with less confidence, but more confidence, like that's not something that for myself I take lightly, because I typically have not had the most confidence when it comes to my capabilities.
John Young using a different tone, John Young dancing, John Young folded, John Young restrained, he's scared. Jesus, guys, he's fucking right there, dude. What do you want him to say? Jesus Christ, you guys are dickheads. But I wouldn't expect anything else. Let's take a quick poll here before Danielle runs. Did she run off to the bathroom? The show is almost over, Danielle. You don't got to go pee now. It's almost over. Where's Ben Smith? He's supposed to be here 6 minutes ago. The fuck is Ben? Ben's pulling DV. You think he's watching the show and that's why he didn't come on? Like he's waiting for us to kick her off? Ben, where the fuck are you? I'll see you pop up in the little window below, and then I just kick Danielle off. Danielle peed, huh?
Oh, no, that Froning intro with your Khalifa podcast was awesome.
God,
right when he was about to show his
that,
medal,
that was
he like rolled back so fast.
Khalifa's a good dude. He called me today. He's like, he wanted to pay me back. He's like, hey, did you go pee?
No, I had to get my charger.
Oh, hey. Oh, nice. Hey, I want to ask you a question here real quick. We're all hanging out. Let's say hypothetically, you know, me, you, Matt Torres, Laura Horvat, you know, Matt O'Keefe, Jake Marconi, whoever, your friends, you know. What's your dog's name?
Cash.
And me and you are in the kitchen. You open up the refrigerator and you pull out a jar of pickles and you can't open it. It's tight. And you look across the room and me and Laura are right there. Wad Zombie wants to know if would fuck. I didn't even get to ask you a fucking question.
Absolutely. I want the pickle now. I want it fast. I don't want it in 5 minutes.
You don't want me to put it between my legs and put both hands on it and ask for like a towel and like I start hitting the edge with the knife? You don't want to
hit the bottom of it with the palm of your hand.
You don't want to watch me do all that?
No, I want to eat a pickle, not
Laura,
watch you gotta open a jar.
Laura, okay. Sloppy Slop Sevi, if you had to smell one person's toe spacers and you had to pick between Danielle, Brandon, Rich, and Greg Glassman, who would you choose and why? You don't get why, but I would choose Rich, and you do not get a why. That'll be $55.99. John Young is jacked. All right. Hey, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me hang out with you all weekend. You were crazy gracious to me with the camera. Your whole team was awesome, and yeah, I look forward to talking to you again. You're awesome.
Oh, thank you guys. Thanks for letting me ramble.
Dude, you weren't even rambling. You were going off. It was good shit. It was good. It was really good. I'm not just saying that.
Thank you.
Okay. We brought someone on who's not quite as good as you afterwards to make you look good, so don't worry.
Ooh, who is it?
Ben Smith.
Oh, legend. Are
What's
you
up, guys?
kidding me? Okay. Now
Thank you, dear.
I need to leave. Bye, guys.